Hello and welcome. I am Ladi Akiriduluale. Tonight, another bloodbath in Plateau State. A suspected herdsman attacked residents of Riyom, killing 11 and injuring 4. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris appears before Senate committee investigating fraud allegations against him, but refuses to answer questions from members. Senate to investigate alleged $385 million in fraud in the power sector. And 6 pupils are killed in Tanzania while playing with an explosive device in their school.
On Business News tonight, federal government disagrees with Moody's latest debt rating, cites 0.55% economic growth in second quarter and returning business confidence.
On sports news, new West Ham manager David Moyes says he will prove a point on his return to the English Premier League.
And from Abuja, federal government approves 5.5 billion naira to halt erosion in 6 states of the federation.
We're again tonight from Plateau State in north-central Nigeria, where at least 11 people have been confirmed dead in a dawn raid on Rim village in Riyom local government area of the state by men suspected to be Fulani herdsmen. The attack is coming about 3 weeks after herdsmen killed at least 29 people, mostly women and children, at Miango village in Basa local government area of Plateau State. The youth in Plateau State reacted to the killings by asking the state government to follow the example of Benue State and ban open grazing by herdsmen.
It's an unusual gathering, one that has forcefully brought together everyone from nearby villages to Rim in Riyom local government area of Plateau State. They cannot hold back the tears. The wailing seems unending as they mourn the gruesome murder of 11 of their loved ones by men suspected to be Fulani herdsmen. The car conveying the victims from the market is ridden with bullet holes, and from all indications, the villagers are tired of repeated attacks linked to herdsmen. They are suspecting it could be a reprisal attack for a missing Fulani herder in the village.
In Mahanga today, an indigene of Riyom, you cannot go there. Why can't the federal government, if really, because they will not leave them. They will be attacked by the Fulani people. So what I'm calling on the federal government and the state government to please come round. We will take you round to know what is happening in the local government. There are places that people are saying that they have captured. Was there any war? No war in your local government. There was just crisis. And people want to go back after the crisis to their domain. But they have been prevented.
The arrival of security officials appears like a respite. But then the people still live in fear and are calling on government to end the killings.
Some weeks back, we learned that the herdsmen complained that somebody was killed. And they say they were going to attack this community and some communities. Very important now for the security men to arrest the person that said anything can happen here, that he is going to attack.
Security has already been beefed up in the area with the deployment of personnel and aerial surveillance on the trail of the attackers.
Now reaching there, our personnel had to first of all save those lives that are still existing. They evacuated them and moved them to the hospital so that they can get medical treatment, and presently as I'm talking to you, some of them are fast recuperating. The casualty figures, about 9 persons died.
Now the concern of the people is for government to reconcile aggrieved parties and ensure that the culprits face the wrath of the law.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has appeared before a Senate ad hoc panel investigating allegations of corruption against him. But the police chief refused to answer questions from committee members, insisting that the matters involved are in court. Our correspondent, Linda Akibe, reports.
At last, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, honors the invitation of this Senate committee, but he comes prepared with his legal team. The Senate on October 3rd this year instructed this committee to investigate allegations of corruption leveled against the Inspector General of Police by a federal lawmaker, Senator Issa Misau. An earlier invitation to the Inspector General to appear before the panel was not honored, as insisted that appearing before the committee when the matter is in court would amount to sub judice.
To the allegations made by Senator Issa Misau against me.
Minutes into the meeting, it became clear that the Inspector General of Police was not going to entertain questions from the committee.
I will not make any oral comment or answer any question in respect of the allegations in view of the various civil and criminal cases pending in the law courts, more especially when the senator has already been arraigned in court in respect of these matters.
His lawyer explains the position of his client.
And we have responded blow by blow, paragraph by paragraph to those allegations to show that we don't have anything to hide.
This displeased the committee chairman, but a quick intervention by a federal lawmaker calmed frayed nerves.
This committee was constituted before you went to court. And then, in other words, the court is even interfering with this our committee, because the committee was constituted before you went to court.
If you look at the Senate order rule you quoted, why would you not go into this matter? In your quote, he said, if in the opinion of the President of the Senate, the matter will prejudice the interests of the parties. Do you have the opinion of the Senate President?
The committee will now study the document presented by the Inspector General, where he says he gave detailed answers to the allegations leveled against him by Senator Issa Misau. But the chairman of the panel, Senator Francis Ali Mihena, is insisting that the Inspector General will be made to face the committee at a later date if there are still grey areas left to be addressed. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
Staying in the Senate, the upper legislative chamber is launching an investigation into allegations that the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing is planning to divert the sum of $350 million from the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, the NSIA, to fund fast power projects. The Senate's decision to begin the probe follows a motion by Senator Dino Melaye, who is alleging that the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing is plotting to retrieve the money which is meant for state-owned Nigeria Electricity Bulk Trading Company and divert it for its fast power project.
Mr. President, my respected colleagues, the Senate is alarmed that there is now a desperate attempt by the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing to retrieve this fund, $350 million, and divert same to funds to fund the so-called fast power project, which the ministry has already spent $35 million of public funds not appropriated by the National Assembly. The Senate further alarmed that since the introduction of the fast power project by the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, a total sum of $35 million has been spent by the ministry on AFAM power project alone to pay $29 million to General Electric GE as cost of turbines and $6 million in consultancy fee to other entities, respectively. All without requisite visibility study of the project and appropriation by the National Assembly as required by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended.
Our concern is this project that was awarded, the contract, for the $29 million and the consultancy fee, as indicated. I think that is the area the Senate should look at. And I would want to recommend that the Senate Committee on Power should look at that, not only ascertaining the credit balance of the $350 million, we need to find out what is the position of the $500 million with NNPC and $150 million with TCN.
In the House of Representatives, it has mandated its Committee on Customs and Excise to investigate the abuse of import duty waivers granted by the Ministry of Finance and its effect on the economy. This resolution followed consideration of a motion seeking investigation into the handling of import duty revenues, waivers and bonds on import duties collected by the Nigeria Customs Service from 2010 to date. In another development, the lawmakers have also resolved to investigate allegations that ministries, departments and agencies of government owe more than 115 billion naira as tax liabilities. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, has that report.
Even as the 2018 budget proposal has been laid before federal lawmakers, the question on the mind of many people is how the budget will be funded. It appears to be the question on the mind of members of the House of Representatives. At the House proceeding on Wednesday, the lawmakers considered a motion drawing attention to allegations that ministries, departments and agencies of government owe over 115 billion naira as tax liabilities, and some tax collected by banks were not remitted.
That the Nigeria Customs Service customarily issues pre-arrival assessment reports, which are used to assess duties payable on imported goods, but the reports are sometimes compromised by importers, thereby leading to underpayment of duties in billions of naira.
The House Committee on Finance and Public Accounts is to investigate the matter and report back in 6 weeks. Meanwhile, another investigation is to be carried out by the House Committee on Customs. It concerns the handling of import duty revenues, waivers, and bonds on import duties collected by the Nigerian Customs Service.
The operation to the Nigerian Customs Service on 1st December 2013, where Fontaine Nigeria Limited never did for some curious reasons. The House is aware that Wave Fontaine has transferred almost all shares to Hong Kong and is left with 1 share as stated on the deeds of transfer of shares from 2006.
In a related development, the House considered a motion calling for a probe into the operational activities of a private company, Web Fontaine, as it relates to its work with the Nigerian Customs Service information and communications technology infrastructure.
Aware of the low culture of individual corporate organization tax compliance, the bill tax being the means through which government can earn extra revenue to bring about the much deserved development to the country, especially in the face of decline revenue from crude oil.
The Committee on Customs is to investigate this and report back to the House in 6 weeks. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
To legal matters, 2 of the 9 members of staff of the Federal Ministries of Agriculture, Water Resources and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, who are accused of payroll fraud, have asked the court to grant them bail so they can pursue the option of a plea bargain. At the resumed hearing of the case today in Abuja, the other accused persons are also seeking bail so they can adequately prepare for trial. The 6th and 7th defendant, Mr. and Mrs. Florence and Olaolu Dada, are asking the court for bail in view of the fact that they have commenced processes to enter a plea deal with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. They told the court that if granted bail, they will be able to pursue the option. But the prosecution counsel, Mukhtar Ahmed, told the court that the said option is still an administrative matter and that cannot be a reason to grant bail. Justice Peter Kekemeke has adjourned the case to November the 14th to rule on the bail applications.
6th and 7th defendants are considering the option of plea bargain. We have submitted an application to that effect to EFCC. However, because of time, there was no time to amend to conclude this. So that was why the arraignment took place on the 25th. and subsequently they were remanded in prison, having pleaded not guilty. Now, the business of today is for bail, and we need time. We have to sit down with the prosecutor to agree on the plea bargain. And that was what I was trying to tell the court.
You know, administrative bail is at the administrative stage. That means at the investigative stage of the matter. Okay, constitutionally speaking, they have that right to be given that administrative bail while the matter is undergoing investigations. But that administrative bail ends the moment the defendant reaches court for arraignment.
In part two, after the break, federal government moves to halt erosion in 6 states of the Federation. Please stay on with us.